Perhaps it was for a time like this that you became queen. When Queen Vashti refused to come before King Xerxes and his drunken friends at a feast, she was banished. In search of a new queen, King Xerxes ordered all the beautiful women in the royal precinct of Susa to be brought to the palace before him so that he could choose a new wife. You may recognize this story if you have recently paid a visit to the Sight and Sound Theater. This is the story of Queen Esther. During this time, there lived in Susa a Jewish man named Mordecai, who took care of his orphaned niece, a girl of exceptional beauty, Esther. Esther was brought to the palace, and out of all the young women, she was selected as the king's favorite and declared queen. But Mordecai advised her not to tell anyone about her Jewish heritage. Now Haman, a chief advisor to the king, would go outside the palace gates and demand that all the king's servants bow to him in worship. But Mordecai, being a faithful Jew, refused to bow to anyone besides the Lord his God. This infuriated Haman, and after he discovered Mordecai was a Jew, he conceived a plot to exterminate all the Jews. When Mordecai heard of this, he asked Esther to plead to the king on their behalf. However, Esther reminded Mordecai that whoever went to the king uninvited would face the penalty of death unless he extended his golden scepter to them. Mordecai urged Esther to visit the king anyways. Do not imagine that you are safe in the king's palace, you alone of all the Jews. Even if you now remain silent, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from another source. But you and your father's house will perish. Who knows? Perhaps it was for a time like this that you became queen. After hearing this, Esther asked Mordecai and the Jews in Susa to fast for 3 days, and she made her maids do the same. She said, "I will go to the king, contrary to the law, and if I perish, I perish." On the 3rd day, Queen Esther went to see the king, and he extended his golden scepter to her, saying, "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even if it is half my kingdom, I shall give it to you." Esther told the king about the plot against the Jews. Disturbed by this, the king asked who had organized such an evil plot. Esther replied, "The enemy oppressing us is the wicked Haman." Upon hearing this, the king was furious and had Haman executed upon the gallows built for Mordecai. After Haman's execution, the king made a decree to the Jews that they could defend themselves on the day of the attack, and the Jews triumphed over their enemies. So what is it that we learn from the story of Esther? Esther demonstrated exceptional bravery and strength, willing to fulfill God's will and purpose for her life, whatever the cost may be. Perhaps it was for a time like this. Consider that God may have placed you in a situation where it so happened that only you are capable of making a change. God has a unique plan for each and every one of us, for you, a plan that is made just